the spectacular setting for today's World Cup action. And the best young footballers of Australia and El Salvador are going for gold in a crunch game in Group C. The Black Sea and the Kachkar mountain range are easy on the eye. Let's see if the soccer talents of two teams desperately needing a win here today are just as pleasing. Riza also famous for its tea production, by the way. And El Salvador vociferously supported in their opening game, albeit a 3-0 defeat at the hands of Turkey. It's amazing how far football fans will travel in support of their nation. Not a big crowd here in Riza, the smallest of the stadiums being used in this Under-20 World Cup, but bathed in sunshine, as you can see. And the Antipodeans, the Australian supporters here, have already bumped into several of them. And Australia, after that 1-1 draw with Colombia, trailing Turkey before this game, but of course whoever wins this one, Australia can go to the top, and El Salvador could, of course, go top if they win by more than 3 goals. It has to be said, that's probably unlikely. Australia will start this game as favourites, and later tonight we will see Turkey and Colombia in the match of the group. It's a truly delightful and a warm afternoon here on the eastern end of the Black Sea port. El Salvador will be in the blue shirts and the white shorts. We'll be bringing you team news in just a moment. And the Socceroos are in the most famous green and gold. To be led out by the number 4, Curtis Good, who was a fitness doubt before this game with a calf injury. But he is fit to take his place. And there you've got a close-up of one of the mothers of the players. That's the mother of Jackson Irvine. In the crowd. A proud moment for number 15, the captain Rennie Gomez, who said he had to really lift his players in the wake of that 3-0 loss to Turkey. He's the oldest member of the squad. The referee for this one is very experienced. It's Stéphane Lanoy from France, who was also officiated at the World Under-17 Championships in Nigeria. And we'll lead the two sides out in just a moment into the stadium known as the Yeni Shahir Stadium, which has a capacity of just under 15,500 and was only opened 4 years ago. Anyway, there they are, the Australian supporters in good heart, and why not? They're expecting the best from these young players who performed admirably in their opening fixture, that 1-1 draw with Colombia in Trabzon. El Salvador, it's a very fast learning curve. This is their first appearance in the Under-20 World Cup. The match ball awaits. The referee to pick it up on the way out. A very warm afternoon it is in Riza as well. So the conditions will be testing. First of all, the 2 flags of the sides in conflict this afternoon. Australia's flag came out first. They are the designated home nation for this match in Riza. And it is followed by the flag of El Salvador, representing CONCACAF, of course. And maybe it was significant, all 4 of the CONCACAF representatives here in Turkey were beaten in their opening matches. They're very nervous, they're very tense, and you can understand that tension. everything down to the second. The timing has to be immaculate. Let's see whether the performances of these young players turns out to be just as immaculate. And you will, of course, get the chance to hear the national anthems of Australia and El Salvador. Curtis Good had the honour of playing in the Capital One Cup final in England a couple of months ago for Bradford City when he was on loan from Newcastle. That came at Wembley against Swansea City. And here he is now playing his career as captain of Australia's under-20 team. Now they do get the signal, and Monsieur Lanoy leads out El Salvador on the left and Australia on the right. As we look at the picture here, coming to you from the northeast port of Riza on the Black Sea. So the general coordinator's job is done. Now everybody in the crowd will be asked to rise to their feet for the first of the two national anthems, and that is for the country of Australia. Were singing along like good ones there once you could hear the music. They suddenly came up in the middle of that anthem. It didn't spoil the enjoyment. In fact, now we'll enjoy the national anthem of El Salvador. Not since 1982 have we heard that anthem in a FIFA event. That was the World Cup finals in Spain. Unless, of course, you include beach football, which El Salvador are particularly good, and they'll be competing in Tahiti in September, the next edition of that event. So these traditional handshakes between the two sets of players. If height has anything to do with it, Australia would win because they're a much taller unit. And after their impressive showing against Colombia, the Australians know they have to up the ante again against an obdurate El Salvador force. The likes of Adam Taggart and Daniel De Silva will be looking to get their names on the score sheet Hu and Connor Payne supplied the win. It's the same lineup that did the Socceroos proud in Trabzon. As you can see, the shadow of the stand stretches to halfway across the field as Curtis Good exchanges pennants with Rene Gomez. Referee Lanoy with the toss of the coin. And it was El Salvador who have the choice. I think they'll stay as they are now. Look at it. All well and good so far, and there's just one change for the Central Americans to report in this game. Maicon Oriano pays the price for a performance that was way below his star billing against Turkey. And the man who replaced him for the last quarter of that game, Thomas Granito, gets the nod to start this time. That will certainly please his father, who is in the crowd. He is a tennis coach. Gustavo Granito is very proud to see his son in the lineup. So all set for Riza's bow in this World Cup. There will be 3 games staged here. The following match this evening with Turkey playing Colombia, and also a quarter-final match. And there is a man who lived up to his name, Joshua Brillante, which means a shining jewel almost, a brilliant shining jewel, and he was terrific, Brillante, in that 1-1 draw with Colombia. Certainly is an attacking force, he was excellent. And he's distinguishable with that bushy beard. El Salvador's captain, Rene Gomez, has quite a job on his hands here. And the game is underway in Riza. Australia versus El Salvador in Group C. Jackson Irvine, his parents are also here, along with his grandfather. He's coming from Belgium to watch the match. To Chapman, who was a bit of a veteran. He played in the under-17 finals in Mexico 2 years ago. It's possible to call any of these lads veterans. Curtis Good decides the ball back to Paul Izo is the one that's required. Chapman to Geria, who had an outstanding match against Colombia. Pace may be a little slow to begin with because of the heat. So a decent ball into Taggart, and Taggart will set off. Adam Taggart, who is a full international, into the area for Da Silva, who's just unable to relocate Taggart with a short staff pass. Paul Ocon is the coach for the Australians, 41 years of age. He actually played in this competition 22 years ago in Portugal. Seasoned Australian. Morales. It's the ball right up to halfway. Not a bad clearance from the goalkeeper. And here is the star player the other evening, and he already showed twinkling feet, and he's played a good ball out there as well. And a pretty good start, and it's sliced away, and that could have produced a corner for El Salvador. So the move was initiated by Jairo Henriquez, and the cross ball in, which was a very good one, came from fullback Kevin Mendoza. Mendoza again featuring there. Good start for him on a beautiful playing surface. It has to be said, this stadium is only about 4 years old and is the home of the Turkish club Çaykur Rizespor, who won promotion at the end of last season into the Super League here in Turkey. So there's some big games here to come. The likes of Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe, Beşiktaş, all to come to Riza next season. There's the tiny little figure of the number 10, Diego Coca, one of the more influential players in the match with Turkey. Brillante now, pops up all over the place. Chapman to Good. The ball was played under pressure there to Enriquez. There is the coach of the El Salvador lineup, Mauricio Alfaro. According to Wikipedia, he's 42 years old, but I find that surprising as he played in the 1982 World Cup finals. He was about 13 at the time. To intercept, Nigeria to move the Socceroos forward. 1 o'clock in the morning down under in Oz. And there will be a lot of people staying up to watch this one. There were the other evening, I know, and I hope they enjoyed the transmission. Certainly they will have enjoyed the performance of Australia in that opening game against Colombia, where they held the lead until the 77th minute, courtesy of a goal from 16-year-old Daniel Da Silva. Oh, good footwork again. He's got a good start as Enriquez to this game. And that one's spinning as it gets all the way through to Izo. The goalkeeper made 3 outstanding saves in the match with Colombia. All at fingertip. Sherry. Brillante. Curtis Good may get into the opposition half here. He does so. The question is finding the right ball now. And again, he was unable to do that. Nicely done. El Salvador have shown themselves reasonably adept at retaining possession. They spent a good half an hour the other evening in the stadium in Trabzon simply passing the ball to one another. 5 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards. That's what they concentrated on most of all. Brillante, who again seems to be occupying this role in front of the back four. Good and Chapman have certainly had plenty of touches of the ball. They play their own game again. Now they bring Brillante into it. Taggart. That was a rather lax ball across the El Salvador line. It could have gone anywhere. As it turned out, he found the right man in Enriquez. He has this great ability to beat people. And the crowd have already warmed to the performance of Enriquez on the right side for El Salvador. He doesn't waste the ball. And North calling for it. He is now, in fact. But it doesn't come his way just yet. So that's Mendoza. They've opened up space quite nicely for Coca. Here he is, going round at 180 degrees. Well, he'll go for goal here. Well, it was ambitious and it was lofted over the top of the crossbar by Jairo Enriquez. But he's a confident player and he scores goals. He got a couple in the qualifying victory against Panama. One of the key results in the qualification campaign for El Salvador. They come here to Turkey ahead of the likes of Costa Rica. They didn't make it. Payne. Taggart's reverse ball. It's to Brillante, then to Geria. 3 Australians across the centre. Brillante retains the possession well. This is good interplay, and Taggart will slice open the defence, but with just a fraction too much space on it for Houle. Houle there, who was a significant player the other evening against Colombia with his raids down the flanks. Shielding his eyes against the sun on what you can see is a very warm afternoon. And the fairer skinned and fairer haired players may just suffer a little bit in the early phases. It's gone in Riza. Australia 0, El Salvador 0. And a free kick, and that's a rarity. I think that's the first one. It is, that's amazing. That's the first foul of the game, and it comes on the 7.5-minute mark. The first free kick is awarded to El Salvador. Now, starting to feed this out to Enriquez as often as possible, and there he is now. Coming back and doing a good job there was Da Silva. This is Brillante. Might just open up for Brillante here. The ball is over the top as far as Payne. He finds himself one-on-one with Ayala. Then Da Silva. Chance of a shot here maybe. They're taking their time before Brillante does let one fly. What a goal! Did he let it fly or what? And Joshua Brillante lives up to his name. He is dazzling. He had a blinder of a match against Colombia, and this is as good a strike as you will see in the entire competition. He's 30 yards out, and he rips into the shot, and it flies beyond goalkeeper Morales, who has no hope. Maybe just got a big finger to it, but the power of the shot from Brillante sufficient to give Australia the lead in the 9th minute of the game. Now, he deserves to be mobbed. He's the most distinguishable player on the field because of his appearance, and he was one of the best players on the field the other night. The referee is going to take some form of action here. No card. Brillante, by the way, did score in one of the warm-up matches against Portugal, so it's not his first goal at international level. But no matter how long he lives, he won't strike any better than that. And it's a great start for the Socceroos. Good. Currently wearing the captain's armband. Now De Silva, who belies in you. 16, he is full of enterprise and full of confidence. No foul there, just a good win of the ball by Payne, but I'm afraid he's got a pain in the back of his neck as a result of that challenge. His side, in fact, is holding it now. This is the scoreline. Brillante for Australia. There still hasn't been a goalless match, by the way, in the Under-20 World Cup of 2013, which is good news for statisticians. Well, that's not good news for Australia. The ball was lost by Good, but Pena took rather too long about doing something from it. So Enriquez plays it in field. Gomez to the left back, Ochoa. This is Ochoa again. He got himself booked in the very early moments of the last game, but not this time. And Chapman brings some assurance to the Australian defence. This is where they're strong. That was very good from Irvine, and this looks equally good from Payne. He's got 3 blue shirts around him, and he took the wrong option there. I think he needed to go right rather than left. Easier for me to say from where I am. Free kick by Salvador. 10 minutes played. Brillante's goal separates these sides already. The 4th goal conceded by El Salvador, who have yet to register. And in all the years that we've been having Under-20 World Cups, there are only 3 countries who have never, ever scored a goal. One of them Tahiti, by the way. Oh, yeah. Back by Brillante. Chapman. Guinea, Indonesia and Tahiti, the only other 3 countries not to score a single goal when they played in these finals. But El Salvador will share that dubious distinction at the moment. This is the goal scorer, Brillante. Full of confidence, he really is. Says he'll shave the beard off, by the way, if Australia win the World Cup. A long way off doing that, but they are in the box seat here. Everton and Brillante. Australia very content to coax the ball around between themselves. Irvine plays in the Scottish Premier League with Glasgow Celtic, the champions. Once again, Brillante looks so comfortable on the ball and won't be tired anybody that gives him space. And that is a foul by Chapman, and they are conceding 1 or 2 free kicks. We're in Riza, by the way, which is an absolutely delightful city, a population of around 370,000, and Chapman is going to be cautioned. So that much he doesn't like. First booking of the match. This is why he got it. Well, the elbow came out, actually the forearm came out on Pena. So we have a bit of a hold up in the 3rd floating photo, which just enables us to tell you a little bit about Riza, which is renowned for its hot springs, the Kachkan Mountains, which dominate the city, canoeing, black cabbage, would you believe, and a hybrid animal, sort of a crossbreed between a goat and a sheep. You can find them all in Riza. You can find sunshine and football as well. Good marauding run there from Granito, the player who's the one addition to the starting line from the last match. And so Granito's father, a tennis professional, Gustavo, who's here in the crowd following his son's progress. A fair-skinned player on the team, of Argentinian expect. Coca. Granito shows just a little bit of too much of the ball there to Galloway. So he's back with Izo, who had a couple of appearances on the bench last season for Adelaide United. Galloway for good. And 2 Gs, the G-force. All coaches like to have the same centre-back partnership for games. Certainly looks as Chapman and Good are the preferred starting pairing for Paul Ocon, who I thought coached the Australian side very intelligently in that opening game against Colombia. He changed his tactics around, he switched personnel around a little bit as well. The wide players, and Brilante in particular, to snuff out the threat of Colombia's brilliant number 10 Quintero. I'm looking forward to seeing him tonight against Turkey. For the moment here, Australia for a goal to the good. Curtis good too. Now here is Da Silva. He's good when he runs at people. But he's not so good when he gives it away as he did to Granito there. Coca. Oh, that was neat. What happened there was the fullback, Jerry, came charging in to win the ball. And the player who eluded him was Barafona. He did well to elude it as well. Costly with Mendoza. Good chest work by Pena, and Pena again. Will he get the shot in here? It just spun off the turf, not too well for him, but Enriquez swings one across. It's a good ball. Cheria down here, chance of an equaliser. El Salvador have got their goal in the World Cup. How they can celebrate the header there from Diego Coca. And how fitting that it was the cross from Jairo Enriquez that set it all up. Coca has the equaliser for El Salvador in the 17th minute of this game, and it is their first ever in the World Cup finals. And right in front of some of the El Salvadorian supporters as well. So a historical moment. It was the ball to the back post. The downward header turned out brilliantly for Coca, didn't it? Not sure that's what he intended, mind you. Coca with a little flick of the forehead sends it beyond goalkeeper Izo, and El Salvador are level in the contest. Well, that will make them feel a whole heap better. What do we want for Australia's confidence level? Or will it sting them again? It was a Barahona who was at the back post who got the downward header, which worked out to perfection for the Central Americans. 1-1 it is. Now Good to lead from the front for Australia, but he treads on the ball. It's not the first mistake that Curtis Good has made either. Make 2 or 3 and you can't afford to do that. Rather a nervous start from the skipper of the Australians, the Socceroos. He does have a calf strain. Whether that's affecting his thinking, I'm not sure. Anyway, here come Australia on the counter. Hooked away by Mendoza. Well, the goal was greeted exuberantly, as you would expect. Now Brillante. They were giving Australia such a good start. Da Silva tries to just thread this one through to tag it. But the blue shirts mass ranks, and away they come. With Gomez, their captain. It means that all three of the newcomers for this World Cup now, Cuba and Greece being the others, have all scored at least one goal, which is great for the competition. Somebody who's watching, by the way, would not have been too impressed. It's Craig Moore, the former Australian centre-back. He's in the VIP area today. But Diego Coca has his first goal, and El Salvador's first goal in the World Cup finals for under-20 football. That's Chapman. Plays for the Newcastle United Jets. Payne is very slick, and he is very irrepressible as well as he continues here. That's great play from Payne, and the cross looks useful for Taggart's header, and it's just kept out by the keeper. Diving down to his right, manages to foil Taggart. Well played, Rolando Morales. Here was the ball across from Hull. Taggart's header's good. It looks as though it might just sneak inside the upright until Morales intervenes. Corner Australia. First of the game. Too deep. And they'll probably run out harmlessly. It does it. Paul Ocon and his assistant alongside him there. That's Milan Blagojevic. They've really instilled a Dutch system of playing here of Australia under younger Slayan. I didn't expect to concede that goal, it has to be said. Granito. And then the goal scorer here, Coca. What an honour, what a privilege for him. And now Da Silva, who had that same honour and privilege in the last game by getting Australia's goal against Colombia. As a 16-year-old, the third youngest goal scorer ever in the Under-20 World Cup finals. So far they've kept Da Silva at bay with 21 minutes gone. We're almost halfway through the opening half of the game here in Rize. Really spectacular settings, I have to say. And Payne, who has already tormented that right side of the El Salvador defence, this time can make no breakthrough. Good. Let's have a comment on the play. That was his name. Now Brillante. He made an early impact. We picked him out before the start of this game as one to watch, and he certainly lived up to that billing. In fact, he was clean-shaven until about a month ago, which makes him look far more than 20 years of age, that big beard. Chapman now ventures forth. Brillante plays a routine ball, and was there a foul there? No, the referee, Monsieur Lanoy, says no body check, as it appeared from here on Poole. A very fair-haired Poole. He plays for the Newcastle United Jets, as so many of this starting lineup do. But they're on the other bench, they at least have a goal to talk about. This was where I thought there might have been a body check by Ochoa, the left-back from the Turin Academy. In fact, the majority of the squad, or 10 of them, play in the Turin Academy side for El Salvador. Who are back defending again here now, but that won't reach Da Silva. Morales with all the time in the world to pick it up. And the ball spirals into the air onto the head of Galloway. It's not a big crowd by any means here in Riesa, and if there has been a disappointment to this tournament, it has been the sparsity of the crowds. Chapman will retake again from Brillante as Australia seek to re-establish a stranglehold in this game, which has yielded 2 goals in the opening 17 minutes, and Australia look to re-establish that lead now, but that chip through from Chapman will carry the ball dead. Australia, by the way, playing in their 15th World Cup at this level. Only Brazil have played more. Spain have played an equal number of tournaments. Australia seeking what would be their 17th win today. But they've not won a match since they beat Brazil 10 years ago. They've drawn 4 and lost 7 since then, so they're overdue a win. And today you would think would be the ideal opportunity, but they're having to defend here now against Mendoza's forward ball. And Enriquez juggling, flicking, he's quite a performer. So is Brillante, stronger there in the challenge than anybody else, and it's got through here to Payne. Connor Payne one-on-one again. If he goes beyond him, he should get the shot through. Instead he chooses to float it through. Brillante, despite his vigour, can't win it this time. Well, when Australia do get the ball through on that left-hand touchline to Connor Payne from the Melbourne Victory Club, they look dangerous, but Payne hasn't as yet produced the goods. Need one more goal though for Australia to secure the 3 points that will take them momentarily anyway to the top of the table. That is a free kick without question. The foul was on Hull, and this isn't a bad position to strike one. Goalkeeper Morales is not particularly tall. For the moment, by the way, we have the El Salvador player down on the deck. The physiotherapists from the Central American country are being summoned. It was Ochoa who went in. Australia committing 4 fouls to El Salvador's 1. That's astonishing, isn't it? That's the first foul that they've committed in the 26th minute of this game. So a great deal to be said for the discipline of Cocker here and his colleagues from El Salvador. How ironic it would be if they pay a penalty. They've got the ice pack supplied to the neck. So he's just caught a blow there. And must leave the field of play for the moment. The players who are taking the free kick are shielding their eyes against the sun, which is directly behind this stand at the Black Sea end of the ground. The sea is right behind this stand. It's about 100 metres away. We are so close to the great beyond. Not quite sure where you would end up if you went across that sea, because Turkey is bordered by 8 countries. Here is the free kick anyway. It's used forward, surely. Oh dear, what a miss by Chapman. Chapman coming in at the back post there seemed a certain scorer. All he had to do was direct it anywhere between the 2 goalposts from no more than 5 yards, if that. But he failed to do that. So the play goes on, and with El Salvador in attacking position. Now Chapman's at the other end and has to make a decision. Took the right one in, not playing it back to Izzo. Now he does do that. I'm sure we'll see a replay when we can of that incident. For me, Connor Chapman should have restored Australia's lead. I'm sure it's inappropriate because at the moment the ball is fizzing around the centre circle, so it gets out as far as Galloway. And this is it. Well, he's got in great position here, Chapman, because they may have been in an offside position. Well, he was a bit further away than I thought, so I won't discredit him too much there. But I still think if he'd had the shot, he might well have scored. Curtis Good. And Galloway. Stretch of the right boot from Brillante, sends it out to Gerrier, then he retakes. He'll bring Curtis Good into the move. Plenty of options here for the captain of Australia, Curtis Good. The man he finds is Taggart. He looks to be going nowhere over here. And he wasn't, does no more than win the throw-in. Well, they're seeking to win a corner kick. Well, they didn't do that, and El Salvador managed to retain it because Enriquez is the one on the ball. Not for long. Gerrier will act as the springboard for another Australian attack. He thought of a shot there to say he was about 35 yards out. I wouldn't have been surprised. Too much weight on the ball this time from Irvine. Well, the coaches are up and down, dancing along the touchline at times. Well played, Pena. He's got a long way to go. He's a good try, is Pena, no doubt about that. Galloway for Australia. Just over 15 minutes remaining in the opening half as Galloway. There's a bit of a tearaway. He got a long way down the field there. And although he lost the possession, it does produce a free kick, which could be beneficial here for the green and golds. Just caught by Mendoza, coming in as the second attempt to win the ball. Well, the question here is, can Australia's height be advantageous for them? They have several players bigger than anybody on the El Salvador side. So you'd expect the likes of Curtis Good to be up there for it. He's a tall lad. Spencer Irvine, another one. Good 6-footers. Jackson Irvine is one of those in there looking now. Inevitable delay here. You may have noticed, by the way, the magic spray came out. We saw it. We've seen it throughout this tournament now. Used by referees to mark a white line behind which the ball must stay until the kick is taken out. It is now. It's useful. Very good, missed out from Morales though. To Galloway. Australia still with half a dozen players across the centre. Chased by Brillante. Will be a free kick for El Salvador. That is why the foul was on Ochoa. The game has settled a little bit now, as you can see from the scoreline, but the goal's coming early. Brillante's was a superb strike on the 9th minute, and Coca with the historical goal for El Salvador. So a weak ball out of defence by Ochoa, gifting the possession back to Australia, who do ditto to Coca, who advances again here now. Coca against Irvine. Brillante for Australia was swinging up there towards Da Silva. It was well defended by Ayala, but Australia still with plenty forward here and getting a corner kick for their troubles. It is their second. El Salvador yet to win one. But of course they do have the goal, which is very precious for Morales and his mates. Half a dozen green and gold shirts then, intermingle with the blue ones of the opposition. They'd like the lead back before half-time, and they may get it, but now there is a push here. The free kick inevitably go to the defending side. Curtis good at it, George Chapman, maybe the offenders. Both were up there for it. The header was going nowhere near the net anyway. That was Chapman's header. The foul had already been committed by them. Ayala. Away. Irvine have time on his side. Bula slicks from right to left, with Payne going over to the opposite flank. Over the length. Eliseo's had nothing to do since he picked the ball out of the net in the 17th minute. I think that's his first touch of it since, actually. But when the ball is at the feet of that little fella, there is danger to Australia. Brillante knocks a strange ball back at Cleveland after a corner kick. Just prevented from doing so by Izo. Once again, Brillante willing to act as the link between defence and attack for Australia. But he's not found the right ball. It's been a game of a few chances since the two early goals. Enriquez. Morales, he had to shuffle then and change of feet before he delivered the ball up to Coca. Then from Gomez to Gramito. Mendoza. And Mendoza continues his gallop, and there are two arriving. And El Salvador have their first corner of this contest. It's taken 35 minutes to achieve it. That is not. And I've certainly seen more of Kevin Mendoza in this game than I did in the last one against Turkey. Coca's the one who takes the corners. El Salvador have 5 in the 18-yard area. One of those 5 is the little number 7, Enriquez, who is in the 6-yard box. But it's Australia who emerge with the ball. So no great advantage for the moment, and Payne will leave throwing in duties to Gallo. Calm it down to Alfaro. Mauricio Alfaro and his assistant to Giovanni Figueros. Reveling in the sunshine here, as we all are. And he's about an hour away from Trabzon, so the two sort of host cities. And it's a delightful journey between the two. Just you can feel the water lapping up alongside the car almost. And that close to the water. Coca. Seems an eternity ago now since Coca scored that goal. And Enriquez is goal side of the first man, goal side now of Irvine as well. Can he go all the way? He won't attempt to do so. He flies out instead to Barahona, and that's the most disappointing finale. Kevin Barahona, who played his part in the goal with the downward header, should have done much better there. I was a little surprised that Jairo Enriquez didn't attempt to go all the way himself. He is their most gifted player, the number 7. Good on. Australia being denied space as they attempt to go forward in these last 8 minutes of the half. All good young players with the ambition of becoming senior internationals at some stage in the future. El Salvador are equipping themselves very well in this game. Enriquez just simply wears the name Jairo on his shirt. They've grown in confidence since the equaliser. They've passed the ball well. Enriquez for once does lose the possession to Payne, who fly one across here, but it's well covered at the back by Baumgarten. Best defender against Turkey, Baumgarten. Plays his football in Switzerland at the FC Zurich club. Not to be confused with Grasshopper in that city. A wonderful name. Now, what now? Coca. Enriquez. There's so much self-belief, hasn't he, Enriquez? 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. In the first game of the day here. Remember, Turkey against Colombia is top of the bill. And if whoever wins that one, if there is a winner, will definitely be going through to the round of 16. Turkey starting the day on 3 points, courtesy of their 3 goals against El Salvador. Australia and Colombia locked on 1. So a draw really wouldn't be very good for Australia, who have to defend again now. The ball in his here is good. El Salvador are leading Australia by 2 goals to 1. It was the perfect cross for Peña, who stuck out a foot, directed the ball into the roof of Paulizo's net. And what a scoreline we have here in Riza. Australia 1, El Salvador 2, 5 minutes before half-time. Oh boy, are they celebrating. Peña looks as though he's in trouble, and there's given the sort of signal there that suggests he may need substituting. Coca's ball there down the left touchline, and here is the inch-perfect cross for Peña to strike a dagger to the heart of Australian hopes. The Choa's cross was absolutely spot on, as was the finish. Peña gets the goal. It puts them into the lead in a World Under-20 finals match for the first time ever. And Jose Peña has also recovered, which is good news. Australia 1, El Salvador 2. What a scoreline. Which certainly did not look likely in those opening minutes dominated by the Australians. Well, it would be quite a story if El Salvador were to win this. They're on track. It's a long way to go, 50 minutes. Now Brillanti. Good ball from him. They're looking a bit square, the El Salvador defence, but it doesn't reach Taggart. And these young Socceroos now know they're in a contest, that is for sure. They beat New Zealand 5-0 shortly before they left their own shores to come here to Europe. And they were convincing against Colombia without winning. But now, 2-1 down to El Salvador, something that wasn't in the script. They will have a free kick, however, for the foul here by Granito. Referee Lenoy. The man in the traditional black of referees. And that was Granito, just going across the opponent's Irvine. How Australia need an equaliser before half-time. Psychologically, it would just give them a boost. Remember, they led after 9 minutes, were caught after 17, and are now trailing. That's not the sort of free kick that's going to change things. Very poor delivery from Mahul. And Paul O'Connor has a problem. Well, he got his tactics spot on against Colombia. What's he going to do in this one? They never trailed in that game, but they are trailing here. By the way, we've had the 50th goal of this World Cup during this game. It's been a prolific tournament so far. No goalless draws anywhere. And we're not going to get one here as Galloway gets forward. But between them, he and Payne can make no headway. And here is is the scorer of that second goal for El Salvador, Peña, who's deserved that goal as well for his efforts. Brillante. De Silva is back on the halfway line, and really you would feel the Australians need him further forward. He's one of their most potent players. And now 21 players are all in one half of the field, the El Salvador half. If this were the scoreline with only 3 minutes to go, well, that would be something, but there are still 45 minutes to go after this half. We're coming towards the conclusion of it with the scorer of the first El Salvador goal, Coca. Back to the captain, Gomez, who will try and steady the ship at the moment. Don't make any mistakes now, will be the message. You can imagine the joy that there will be in that El Salvadorian dressing room if it stays this way to the break. They will still have to defend against Oul here. Getting a corner for the young Socceroos. Inside the last minute of this opening half. I think there would be a minute of added time. And Australia drag themselves level in the contest now. Very well met. And hoisted back in by De Silva. But it's well read by goalkeeper Morales, who clings gratefully to the ball. And then sends it long, with it near. If that had got over the top of Galloway, Australia might just have been in trouble. But this is a foul from Enriquez. Galloway forward. It's not going to reach Payne though. Ayala intervenes. And there will be just 60 seconds of added time. It's quite a half to talk about, and we'll show you the highlights. I think you'll enjoy the action that we've seen so far. For Australia, who prospered early, are now looking to get back level. A very unlikely scenario. Brillante is dispossessed, but legally so by Granito. Free kick Australia, but I suspect it's too late for them to do anything about the scoreline in this half. Chapman. Part of a football team's education is to learn not to panic when things are going against you. And that will be the message from Paul Ocon, I'm sure, for Australia, who still trying to find an equaliser, but the referee is about to put the whistle to his lips, I'm sure. We have had the full 60 seconds, and referee Lanoy does indeed blow for half-time. And what an interesting half it has been in Riza here in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. That man, Joshua Brillante, struck a superb opening goal in the 9th minute for Australia. It was a ferocious strike from a ferocious-looking player. But then an equalising goal from Diego Coca, and then that man Peña, Jose Peña, giving El Salvador a most unlikely scoreline. They're jubilant. Australia 1, El Salvador 2. Fascinating stuff, and the work here for Paul Ocon, certainly as the coach of Australia, to perform in the dressing room. Mauricio Alfaro will be absolutely delighted that his team could be on the threshold of making history for the first ever win in a FIFA event. El Salvador have played 10, 1-1 and drawn one match only against Ghana in the 1968 Olympic Games. It's their record with a golden opportunity to improve it from the sunshine here in Tunisia today. So a thoroughly enjoyable opening half was to look back at here in Riza. 6 o'clock in the evening kick-off time, and those are the statistics of this half. So Australia corners, well, Well, Australia lead 3-1 on that count, and there have been 12 free kicks, which is not bad at all, and only the one booking for the Australian defender Chapman. It's set the game up intriguingly, actually, is this. And I think those supporters are looking forward to the next 45 minutes, whichever team they support. And I imagine they'll stay on for the next game. Certainly much to talk about here in this game between Australia and El Salvador. And these are with quite a warm day, as you can see, 25 degrees centigrade. Our French referee, Stefan Lanoy, brought out El Salvador in the blue and Australia in the green and gold. And it was Australia who got the perfect start. It was Payne out on the left touchline, and then it was worked across by Irvine to the path of Joshua Brillante, who stood with absolutely thunderous effort wide of the despairing Morales, and Australia led for Paul O'Connor on 9 minutes. And here it is again. No matter how many times you see this, you can't help but admire. I think then we probably thought El Salvador were going to be on the end of a beating. Far from it. They came back showing great resolve. Peña, their striker, has always been troublesome. So has Enriquez, and a swinging ball from him. Nodded down at the backstick and then turned in with the head of Diego Coca, who made history with El Salvador's first ever goal in the Under-20 World Cup finals. Fitting that Enriquez should deliver that cross to the back post, where Barahona got a touch on it. And El Salvador will level in just the 17th minute, thanks to Coca. So Alfaro, coach, showing his reaction, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered. We looked for an Australian response after that celebration on the touchline, but in fact it was El Salvador who came again with a lovely move down the left-hand side, and Ochoa found the perfect cross, and there was Jose Peña to stretch. He hurt himself in the process. He didn't care. He'd given El Salvador the lead for the first time in a FIFA game. It was a really choice ball in from Ochoa, and a deft finish from Peña. And so the verdict is El Salvador who have the advantage by 2-1. Welcome back to the Yenishehr Stadium in Riza, where we have an intriguing scenario because Australia, the favourites in this Group C encounter, are trailing by 2-1 to El Salvador. No substitutions to report at the onset of the second half then, but what a fascinating 45 minutes this could well be. It's tantalising because if El Salvador win this one, it throws it wide open and would be devastating for the young Socceroos. His final game, of course, is against Turkey in Trabzonspor on Friday. Same night, El Salvador will be travelling to Gaziantep to meet Colombia. The only match in this group that is not played in either Riza or Trabzon, which will have the joy of hosting Greece and Paraguay. So Australia 1, El Salvador 2. The French referee Stéphane Lenoy awaiting the signal to resume the game. The fourth official for this game, by the way, Nawaf Shukrallah from Bahrain, will also be the fourth official for the next match between Turkey and Colombia. It is the second half of Australia against El Salvador, the latter leading by 2-1, and almost a sensational start to the second half. A shot from the halfway line which landed on top of the Australian net. Well, that was an audacious attempt to say the least. Obviously something that had been discussed in the dressing room there by El Salvador, and a 3-1 lead really would have given us a major story. Not quite to be, as Izzo saw it drift over the top of the bar. That shows what good thinking goes on in the sanctuary of dressing rooms. There is Gilio. He's not got forward as frequently as he did in the game with Colombia. Now it is Hill for Australia. Taggart. Oh, there was a space there. Taggart unable to utilise it, so it comes back to Brillanti. Oh, who attempted to play it wide there to the fullback Galloway and succeeded only in giving it to the opposition.